This episode is brought to you by Gainz Sports Gear. Make sure you head on over to Gainz, that's Gainz, sportsgear.com, and get 10% off your first purchase with the code LOVERS10. And now, let's get to the show.
Lovers Quarrel. It's a long, sustained quarrel.
What's going on, world?
Hey, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ, Mr. New Cool.
And it's your girl, Dani, your darling and dutiful duck.
Dutiful. Okay.
Yeah. You know, because I am dutiful. And I'm darling. I'm very, people are endeared by me.
That's what dutiful means?
No, that's not what dutiful means.
So what does dutiful means?
Dutiful means like you are, I do my job, like you're, like duty, like
okay.
I handle my biz.
Got you. I feel like you're trying to steal my segment early.
Why? Because you didn't know that word?
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Throwing out some new words out there. Anyway.
New to you.
Welcome back.
Yes, to another episode of Lovers Quarrel. Of course, if this is your first time listening, welcome to the party. And if this is your second or more time listening, thanks for coming back. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I am doing really well, thank you. And this episode, we have a guest. Say hi, guest.
Hi, world.
And as always, we will introduce that sultry voice a little later in the episode, but just, be on the lookout because she will have things to say and they're going to be wonderful.
Lots of things.
Yes.
So before we get on our elevator.
Oh, okay.
I have to apologize to my wife.
Do you now?
I do.
Okay. What do I owe this apology?
I've been called out. Kiki called me out.
She did.
Rick called me out.
Thank you, folks.
And Rock called me out. So,
thank you all, friends. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely friends.
Countrymen, all of it.
So I'm gonna say that I apologize for cutting you off.
You did.
Yes, I did, but I was in the moment, and but I have to learn. Listen, growing is all about being able to apologize and accept fault. So I'm okay with that. People called me out.
You said
I
you were
listened
rude.
to it. I agreed. So
I listened to it too. You pissed me off last week.
Oh, you was extremely pissed off. You were being short too, though.
But I was also right, but you were worse.
So it's okay for you to be short when you're right.
But I wasn't like short like you were. You were like extra.
I was just giving you the same spice. But listen, I apologize.
Calling you false equivalencies. That should have been your line name. That's
definitely not.
Because you was hitting me with a whole bunch of them, and I'm trying to keep my composure.
I was just asking you just different scenarios, but we talked about it, and I can understand that if something is traumatic to somebody, they shouldn't be forced to have to watch or
guilted or ashamed.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So
thank you.
I think I was just in the moment. So
you were passionate, but sometimes
I apologize.
You gotta have there has to be a balance of passion with reason.
Listen, I'm all about accountability. That would have been my line name, accountability, or accountable, either way.
Okay. Well, I do accept your apology, and I appreciate that you are reflective enough to take accountability and to own up to it. Because I did listen to the episode last week, and there was one part where I took the deepest of sighs. I was like. Because it was like, I want to fight this nigga, and I'm tired of explaining myself, and he's not getting it. But I also want to thank our podcast fam for listening and giving us or giving TJ the feedback, because like anything else, sometimes when you hear it from somebody else, it's when you can kind of start to open your eyes to it. So Reek and Rock and Kiki, thank y'all for being Team Dani on this one. You really you held me down. So can we get on the elevator?
We can get on the elevator. Okay. You want to get on mine or yours?
You can go first. Are you going up or down?
I'm going up.
Going up.
So we just celebrated Father's Day.
Yes.
And I had a great time. Tatum and Dani got me a nice card and some gifts, and I got to spend it with Tatum, and we took her to Chuck E. Cheese, and she had a blast.
Yes.
And
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, where a kid can be a kid. That's their tagline, right?
Even though she didn't really play with. She didn't.
No, I'm lying.
I think Toys R Us is where.
Yeah, that's Toys R Us.
No, I thought it was. I don't want to. Okay, we'll have to do. I'll do my Googles. Okay.
We'll look it up. But
okay.
Tatum's favorite part was the tickets.
Yes, because
So-
she wasn't a fan of like the soccer game.
She
She was
didn't-
like, nope. The ball was coming at her. She was like, not
She didn't want to
interested.
play no games.
She liked driving the train.
She didn't mind driving the train. Yes, she did do that. But it was just cool to kind of see, you know, the simple things be like exciting to her. So, okay, Danny looked it up. It is Chuck
Where a
E.
kid
Cheese.
can be a kid.
Oh,
Okay,
I stand corrected too.
Nah.
you winning now.
But continue. Go ahead.
So that's all I had for going up.
Okay. Well,
You
I'm
didn't
glad.
even give me a going up or anything.
I did give you a going
Did you?
up. Yes.
Okay, I apologize.
Did
Oh,
you?
you on a roll today.
Good Lord, coming from my neck.
You don't win this much in life, so.
Oh, the shade
How's
again.
that shade? I'm just saying, in our life, you don't be winning like that. You be losing a lot. So this is just.
How is this not shade? Is it
You
shady?
be losing a lot.
Exactly.
Is that shade the truth?
It's not. I don't think I lose a lot in life. I won you.
Oh, that was sweet.
That was so corny.
Wait. Tell him about the gift I got you for Father's Day. What did it say? I got you a mug.
I don't remember what it said. Now that I think about it.
I got him a mug and it said, "Thanks for not hitting it and quitting it."
There you go.
Happy Father's Day. I was torn because I'm like, I know, like, I was like, it was either that or it was like Happy Father's Day, and it was like your pull-out game is weak or something.
Yeah,
like
those
that.
are funny.
So, but I was like, I thought hitting it, not hitting it and quitting it was a little classier. So,
Yes. Nice mug.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it to work with me.
yeah, let's give you a little chuckle.
Put it right in my desk.
Exactly. I made you a father.
I made you a mother. What the fuck?
Oh, whatever.
Anyway, listen.
So, all right. Well, I'm glad you have your elevator. Is you made it to the 4th floor wherever you are, and we're gonna continue going up
Okay.
on your elevator.
On my exclusive elevator.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Our penthouse elevator.
I don't know why, but in my mind, your elevator has like doilies, like those like grandma pillows and stuff. Like
It's plush. I don't care what it is.
you got like.
When you get in my elevator, you can take a seat. It's a person to press the button for you.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yours
was
is-
fancy in there.
Yeah. He should have told me out like my elevator's like a project elevator with a nice voice, like a nice
Yeah.
like pissy in the corner and stuff like that. He's just like he's a very shady lady.
It's crazy to me.
I'm gonna keep going up because by the time this episode drops,
Mm-hmm.
your girl
Uh-huh.
will be on motherfucking summer break. Thank you. And so I talked about it last week, but like officially, when y'all hear this episode, I will no longer be teaching middle school for the 18-19 school year. And
Exciting.
yes, and I'm patting myself on the back because job fucking well done, dealing with all the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, trying to teach these kids, trying to teach them to be better people. And like my classroom is packed up. These 7th graders keep coming to school, so I'm like, I'm just gonna keep working y'all until y'all stop coming. Like the only thing that does blow me is like our school goes from pre-K to 8th grade, right? Pre-K and kindergarten gone, 8th grade's gone. So 1st through 7th grade
I'm still there.
are still there. But everybody else, they coming around last week of school, they do a count to see how much like food they got to make for lunchtime. Everybody else is like single digits. They be like 6 kids, 4 kids, 9 kids. 7th grade, 17 fucking kids. Everybody wants to come to school. And then they don't come like right at 7:45, so I could just be like, okay, y'all all here. No, they just like trickling in. It'd be like 8:30, 9 o'clock. These motherfuckers, they just be rolling out of bed, and then I'm like, and I get it, because their parents is like, until you can't be at school, you're gonna be at school, or they're bored, and because they're big enough to bring themselves to school, they just keep coming. But like
So
I
when
said,
Tatum's that age, are we gonna keep her home or just asking?
I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided
So
yet.
you're complaining about them coming, but you haven't decided if you.
I mean,
If she don't need to be there, she
misery
can
loves company, so if I gotta suffer with my kids, why her teacher gotta suffer with hers?
Nah, that's trash.
Listen,
You're a
you taking
hypocrite.
daddy
You're a
daughter
hypocrite.
work day? You taking her to work with you?
No, she's staying by herself. What's 7th grade?
13.
Oh yeah, you can stay home by yourself.
Well, anyway, but school's out for summer, so
Congratulations.
woo-hoo. Thank you. But now, how rude of me, excuse me. So, to our guests, before we jump off this elevator, do you have anything? Do you want to keep going up, or do you have something you want to gripe
I feel
about?
like I should keep going up because the gripe, it's
No,
like...
no pressure.
No.
You listen, whatever is on your heart.
Sometimes you gotta go.
All right, I'm going to have to go down a few floors.
Go ahead. That's
And
fine.
it's only
You gotta get
because...
Going down.
you go.
Yes, my elevator. So I'm going down only because I just did it this morning and I paid my motherfucking student loan bill.
Oh, that's a down for everybody.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
God.
And
I have-
every month I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. I pay it like a few times a year just to get them off my back. And then it just got to go back into deferment because I can't. I
Yeah.
can't. The balance does not move. Like, I am sick of paying thousands of dollars and the balance is $100 less. So
Yeah, I've so like now that I've graduated, like I deferred mine till like August, but then I was like I'm gonna defer it a little bit further out too, because I'm like, thankfully as a teacher, like I can get a good amount of chunk of it like forgiven, but at the same time I'm like, can you let me live? Like let me just like bask in my master's degree for a little while before you be like, come give me your money.
I agree. And I think that what made me say I'm going down is because I just read an article and it was like 20 tweets that show you how depressing student loans are. And the one girl said, I graduated undergrad with $38,000 in loans. To date, I've paid $20,763. My balance is $37,615.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Mary
I'm like,
Joseph.
the math don't add up. So
Make it make sense.
please.
And this is why, honestly, whoever is running against the fucker in the White House right now, that's going to be like a big, I feel like, push for
You've
me.
got my vote.
Exactly. Because like right now, Elizabeth Warren is speaking the things that I'm trying to hear.
Got my vote.
I was like, man, I was like, oh, loan forgiveness, yes.
Yeah, sign
Free
me up.
college, yes. Like I need, these are the things, people. And so right now she's talking the talk that I like to hear. But yeah, no worries about going down.
Decided to
Because,
go down.
yeah, no, that's fine. Because fuck student loans. Everybody else, they hack
Fuck
everything else, but nobody want to hack.
Nobody tap into that.
Nobody hack Sally Mae, Navy, Great Lakes. Like, come on.
Mohila,
Fed Loan Services.
Nelnet.
AES.
Exactly. Somebody burned down the church in Paris, but can't nobody. We pass Sally Mae every time we go to New York.
Yes, on 95.
Yeah, and I'm like, just nobody.
Nothing.
It's just sitting right there.
It burns you up.
Disgusting.
So,
Ugh.
yeah.
Well, now that we've jumped out this elevator before we jump out a window, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our relationship tip of the week. My good sir, do you have a relationship tip?
Of course I do.
Uh-oh.
Would you like me to go first, or would you like to go
I can
first?
go first.
Okay.
So, in relationships, dating, or friendships, be attentive to your nonverbals and your actions, because what you do, people are watching. So, you know, the things that you do or how you act can cause people to be like, you know what, they could feel the type of way. So when Danny asked me to do something and I huff and puff, or my face looks different,
Furrow your brow.
she may not want to ask me to do that again or whatever. So
Okay, that was good. So I used to miss when the only time I miss when he wore glasses is because like that's when I could like gauge like how frustrated he was, because with his glasses on, if his eyebrows went below the frame, that means he was like upset. He was like his screw face was on. So now I have to like
gotta change it up on you.
I had to look a little closer to make sure. But that's really true though. Nonverbals are important, and like even when people read them right or read them wrong sometimes, because
I would agree.
and I know like for me, I'm very big on like watching what I say and like using my words carefully. Like if anybody knows me knows that like I'm big on words, but it's very hard for me to hide my face, like my facial expressions, because it's just all over, and that's difficult. Like it's really hard to control like your facial expressions, your nonverbal communication, you know, your body language and all that stuff like that. So I think that's good.
I win.
No, you don't. So my relationship tip, and this again applies to any ships, is I said check the scales from time to time. And by checking the scales is making sure that like your relationship with whomever, family, friend, partner, that it's balanced. Like, because sometimes the balance shifts from one person to another, and it's not balanced. It's unbalanced. Excuse me. And for a time, that sometimes is what it is. Like, you know, I'm not a person who believes that like relationships have to be 50-50 all the time, but there needs to be a fair balance, and that way there's going to be moments where things are shifted to your partner or your friend or your family member more, and then there's going to be times where you kind of bear the load. But then it kind of gets back to a neutral territory where you guys are comfortable. But sometimes, like, if you go too long without really taking a minute to look at the scales of your relationship, you might not realize that they're out of whack, or that they're not aligned, like that they in the place where you both are comfortable. And then also too, and what I mean by check the scales in your relationships from time to time is to make sure like the pros still continue to outweigh the cons. So that one is really big for me because, you know, especially being with TJ for now almost 15 years.
Wow.
I know, right? We have had all my thoughting and bopping years you took.
Nah, you can always thought and bop.
Well, hot girl summer. I got a question about that for you later.
Got it.
So, but when people say like, how do you deal with them, or how do you like be in a relationship for this long? And what I think about is like, you know, even when he and I are at like our worst of our worst, when I step back and I check the scales, the pros of being with TJ, the pros of being of TJ still outweigh the cons or the negatives. So I think but I think sometimes people have to reflect and step on it and take a look at it, because there are times when people do that and they realize, this is not what it used to be. Things are out of balance, and so you have to make adjustments accordingly. So that's my relationship tip, is just to, you know, sometimes you got to take a step back and you got to check the scales, because
Decent.
You know, it was, first of all, it was thoughtful. I had references.
I had all that stuff too.
It was a two-pronged approach too.
Okay, so you needed two things for my one. I win.
This is a con about you, just so we're, you know, adding it into the con scale.
All right. But is the pros still up? Like, on the scale, is my pros higher than my cons?
Currently, yes.
All right,
as of 7:29 p.m., yeah, sure.
You're rocking. That's all I noticed.
All right. And last but certainly not least, TJ is going to inspire us with his
so much sarcasm.
His $6
words. Can I get like $8?
$7.50.
$7.50. I don't like odd numbers.
I don't make the rules. I just follow them.
I'll take the $8.
So what's your word of the week?
Word of the week is sycophant. Oh, you've heard it before? So what does it mean, Danny? Since you've heard it before?
I'm not gonna pretend like I remember, but I've definitely heard sycophant, and I'm pretty confident I can spell it. Remind me again.
All right. It's a suck up. Someone who sucks up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and you could spell it. Let me hear it.
Okay, sycophant. SYCOPHANT.
You spelled it correctly.
Because that's what the fuck I do.
This week.
Go on, boom.
But last week was just like a fluke. So anyway, but
listen.
Now I have to go back and listen to last week's, because I didn't, because I saw y'all talking about Central Park 5 and I hadn't watched it when they
got into it.
So I was like, I can't listen because I hadn't watched
we didn't, it. No, I didn't give any spoilers.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
But it was all about why I haven't seen it and why he did.
Yeah, okay. So I like skipped all of the podcast last week where I saw it in the description like, nope.
Oh,
but now I can go back and listen.
Yeah, we beefed hardcore. That's why he had to apologize.
Okay. I'm definitely going to go back and listen now.
I apologized because I was wrong. I didn't have to. I could have said...
No, I said I didn't say you had to apologize. I said that's why you apologized.
Oh, okay. Just had to make sure.
Say sorry, because you was wrong again.
I'm sorry. Let's do it.
So, yeah, sycophant, yes. But...
Okay. I know you can spell it. Listen, I'm just trying to get my vocab up like yours. That's it. So, you know what I mean?
You gotta... honestly, though, you have to put it into practice, because I couldn't remember it off top what the meaning was, but... you know.
Listen, but if it was in a spelling bee and they threw that word out there, you would have got it. So
listen,
all that matters.
This is true. This is true. Well, thank you for that word and that definition reminder.
Thank you for spelling it.
You're welcome.
And now
it's time for the meat and potatoes of the episode. The best part, the mac and cheese and the stuff. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Ooh.
Because I like cornbread stuffing and mac and cheese.
I'm going to say the yams and mac and cheese.
The yams and mac and cheese of this episode. This is Boonie of the Boonie Breakdown Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, air horns.
We need to get like some sound effects. Get on that, babe. Go ahead. Do it.
That's really hard. You gotta get like a soundboard and.
You got it. You got it. I have faith in you.
See, she got faith in you.
Exactly.
This week.
You're the technological guru between the two of us. So, Boonie of the Boonie Breakdown Podcast is here with us. So, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you, my soror. Hey, exactly. And you gotta listen to last week's episode because we interviewed Tatum at the end, and in the middle of her like either counting or spelling, she was like, "Mommy, ooh," and I was like,
that's so cute.
So, yes, we're
Your
trying to
legacy.
Exactly. I'm trying to bring her up right because my sister's an AKA. It's a battle.
My sister's an AKA too, actually.
Yeah. So we try to fight for my child's soul. But yeah. So the Boonie Breakdown Podcast, the podcast where they sometimes cry, they always laugh, sometimes get ratchet, but forever are gonna break it down for you. So again, thank you so much for coming on. And we always want to start with, I guess, we kind of have a couple icebreaker questions.
Got it.
So this one is a thinker. So just put your thinking cap on. What has been the kindest so you can give us one or the other, why is this thing a partner or person, honestly, has ever told you?
Ooh.
Because sometimes people drop gems on you and you carry them with you.
You do. Okay, the kindest or wisest thing. I feel like my friends are going to listen to this. And depending on what I say, are going to be like, why she talking about that nigga?
I mean, listen, even
I'm not going to say their name.
If they're not in your life anymore, but if they drop a gem, that's all you needed from them.
Yeah. I'm tossed between two.
Give us both.
I think I'm going to go with, you said the wisest or kindest?
Either or.
The kindest thing a significant other has ever said to me. I'm going to go ratchet just because it's me.
Go ahead.
That my ass was as soft as Charmin.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's very kind.
That's a beautiful thing. I think it is very kind. And if you love your ass, or if you were insecure about your ass, like, it's a great.
It was a good thing.
And we always say kind or wise because sometimes some people are kind and wise, and some people are wise but not kind, and some people are kind but not wise. So
and I'm gonna say the wisest thing. Is how you get caught up on. I remember I was just very upset about something. And it was, when you look at it, it's one of those things in the scheme of things, like, it's so insignificant. I can't remember what it was, but I remember at the moment, it was just like, to me, like, the light bulb. He just walked over, grabbed my shoulder, and was like, sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. And I was like, and he like walks, he's like, shake it off. And I remember being so upset, but at the moment, whenever I get like to that point where I'm about to like, I just remember like, you know what, fuck it. Yeah. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
That's how it is sometimes.
Because I don't like to hold emotions, good or bad, too long. I feel like you sit in them.
Yeah, they can be all consuming.
Yeah, so that. Well, shake it off.
I think those are both, quality pieces of words of wisdom and compliments and things like that. So, I'm all here for it and how the people present them vary, but you carry them with you.
I still remember those two.
Oh. And
so the next question is,
we've been
talking about this topic for some time.
We're trying to highlight.
We're highlighting
a movement.
Okay.
An old movement, but bringing it back.
It's coming back.
So What is your first thought when a person wears black Air Force Ones?
I instantly go back to college.
Oh my god. What does that person say to you? Like if
Or do
If you're still wearing black Air Force Ones, I feel like they are stuck in a moment. Like that was when they were at their peak. And when they put their feet into those motherfucking Air Force Ones, they just feel like they the shit. Now they might be stuck in yesteryear in 2001, 2002, but that's like their power source.
So the movement with the black Air Force Ones is that if someone wears black Air Force Ones, that means that they steal.
So you're laughing because you probably the same person you're thinking of was a thieving ass nigga, was it?
Yeah, that's funny.
We're trying to gather anecdotal data to support the claim.
That is funny.
So the dirtier the sneaker,
The more
that means the more they don't care.
about like anything.
Okay, and then I'm gonna take it a step further. If they have the like rubber eraser,
the gum
sole,
soles.
yes.
Oh no.
You're gonna have to ask Rick about the gum sole.
Oh yeah. Is that like a level up?
I don't
Black
know.
Air Force Ones with the gum sole.
The gum sole.
We're gonna find out. When he listens to this, he gonna tell us.
Reek, we need you on the case. We need you. So
Yeah, let me know.
So yeah, anytime. So at this point, anytime we've had guests, like since maybe like 3-4 episodes ago,
You have to ask about this.
We just have to ask because, but thus far, no one has had anything positive to say. Because you even you said you were like, it's like dated.
It's very dated.
It's like, and then when you tie that together. And you didn't deny it, so it sounds like you knew somebody who had sticky fingers and gum bottom black Air Force Ones.
Because when I looked at the feet, I remember the
Just like
they used to match a bandana out their pocket to the sole of the shoe. So then if they wore the white ones with like the ice, then they had like a sky blue bandana.
I was doing too much.
You gotta coordinate. You gotta coordinate.
We didn't win bandanas. Bandanas mean you were gang affiliated. You didn't touch them.
Oh my gosh. So, your podcast is, another, one of the primary taglines of your podcast is about being responsible and ratchet, which I actually wore my Responsible and Ratchet shirt to Chuck E. Cheese on Sunday.
That is responsible and ratchet.
Thank you. It's like literally one of my favorite t-shirts.
Responsible at a ratchet place.
Like I'm being a mother, but
it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese is like the ratchet kid spot. It's
100%.
Yeah.
Balance.
When did it morph into that? Because I feel like when we were children, it was still kind of respectable.
I feel like Chuck E. Cheese is over.
I didn't go to Chuck E. Cheese a lot as a kid.
I only went one time. It was
I think I've like one or two times, and I think it was like somebody's birthday. Like it was never like I don't ever recall in my entire lifetime being like I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. Although the pizza was not bad.
The pizza was always the highlight.
Yeah. So so I can't complain about that. So but I guess we kind of
sorry, because you said the pizza. Did you know the pizza is on DoorDash? You can order a Chuck E. Cheese pizza on DoorDash.
Yes, I did.
The other day I was on there scrolling like, hold the fuck up. And it was just pizza.
And like, it's so funny. It's like, I saw it, but I didn't even think about it in my head. And now that you say that, I should be like, what the fuck?
I clicked on it because I was like, what are you ordering from Chuck E. Cheese? And it was just pizzas. That's it. That's all you could get.
Wow. They will put anything on DoorDash. Yeah. So wait, I think I might be able to like match you. I'll see your Chuck E. Cheese and I'll raise you. So, and I had TJ's cousin and I had ordered from this place. It was a Jamaican, we got like oxtails and whatever else, and my sister. And then one day I decided, I was like, dang, I really want some Jamaican food. I'm gonna go pick it up from there. And I put the address in and I got there.
Just a house?
It was an apartment complex. Because I was like, I said, this person is hustling plates out of their apartment on DoorDash. because the food was fucking good too. Like I wasn't even
That's
mad
hilarious.
But I realized I'm like, it had like a code. I needed a code to get it. I was like, oh, I was like, so I think it was called K&T or something. I think that's just like the names of the people cooking.
That's how. Oh my god, that's probably why I was so good. But oh my god,
Yes, so
I didn't know you could do that on DoorDash.
I know. I saw.
They getting all the coins.
Exactly. TJ wasn't thrilled, but I was.
Not at all.
He's like, basically, like you got to be more, you got to be more discerning. You got to like, and I was like, well, I mean,
you gotta do Street View on DoorDash.
Exactly.
Let me go Google Street View.
So it's gonna be like in New York, they could do like the carts, like the street meat carts, like the vendors. Somebody driving by
on the corner.
But anyway, I digress. So why, for you anyway? Why Responsible and Ratchet? Where did that come from, and why is that such a good, adequate representation of the Boonie Breakdown?
So where it came from, many moons ago, I started on Twitter, and I used to do. It started at. So this is like 2010 or 2011. I used to be really bored and sit on Twitter like all day at work. And I used to do this thing called Ratchet Hour, Boonie84 Ratchet Hour, my Twitter handle. And it became like a thing, like a Twitter chat people would look forward to. It was at 2:00. I would use like Oprah's original theme music. Like I would do all this. This guy I met on Twitter, he ended up being the producer of the show. Like it just morphed into this thing. And it was ratchet as fuck. Like, I searched my name on, the hashtag on Twitter, like, a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, this is what you were doing? Like, this is a long time ago. And so when people were like, oh, you should do a podcast. I was supposed to do a podcast a long time ago. Ended up fucking a producer. Podcast didn't get off the ground. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Everybody says you should do a podcast. And I was like, but I didn't want to just get stuck in the ratchet. And I was like, because I know myself, I'm going to get bored, just like I did with the Twitter chat. After a while, I'm like, how many times can you talk about? So I was like, all right, I got to put another spin on the ratchet. And I was like, you know what? I was in my 20s then. Now I'm in my 30s. Now I'm responsible in Ratchet. And so that was how it came together. Like, I could still do that, but now I got to talk about 401k sometimes and student loans and shit, right? But
facts.
So that was kind of like, the balance of. But the other side of me is like, fuck this shit. Let's go to Mexico and ball out, right? And do whole shit and it's whole summer because Meg said it and all that stuff. So that was kind of the brief synopsis of how it came about.
But I think it's just like, it's such a nice, like, and it's just so nice and neat and it like sums it up perfectly, which is like, because I am still the same Dani that I was in a lot of ways at 22, but I mean, at my essence, at my like who I am as a person.
Do tell.
But then I'm also now, a wife and a mother, and I'm responsible. I pay taxes and bills, and that's the responsible side. But like, I still enjoy like getting drunk with my friends every once in a while, and talking shit, and hanging out late occasionally, or hanging not out, but just like in the house, like being on somebody's couch, drink. I'm not drinking Four Locos anymore. I'm having, You'll
go to Golden Dragon. That's
that is Ratchet.
It is Ratchet. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
But I enjoy a good Ratchet turn up at the Golden Dragon too, because I was telling somebody else, Baltimore doesn't really have nightlife here.
No.
It's very event based.
Yes.
So people look forward to that white party. They look forward to that event. And so that drives the scene here. But I was like, you have these hood staples and Golden Dragon. You're going to get fucked up off the drinks.
Exactly.
The egg rolls a bomb.
Exactly.
And the DJ is good.
Exactly. Because there's a couple of places in Baltimore, like, because what was it? So it was like Golden Dragon now, and then is it Windsor Inn or
Windsor Inn still popping? You might get shot there, but
yes, you might. Corinthians was we were Corinthians.
Part of me is like,
you don't want to go get shot
where I can get shot. Like,
I mean, so I kind of let up on the Windsor because there has been way too many shootings there for my taking, and it's always in the parking lot, or that's too close to home. But I can go to the Corinthian old school turn up.
Yes,
Melba's.
See, and so there are all these spots where. And I mean
learning something new about Dani.
Continue talking. Responsible Ratchet coming out.
There's any place where I can dress comfortably, sit down, drink strong drinks, eat, and listen to good music.
And the key is sitting down, because you want to get up and twerk every now and then, but
then
your knees ain't the same no more.
Exactly. I need a chair. So I'm gonna put my hand on the chair, and then I'm gonna like drop it, twerk a little bit.
You need support now.
Exactly.
These knees are not the same.
Exactly. These have literally been childbearing hips. Like I need things crack and pop a little bit more, not on purpose. So I support that. So like that's why I embrace the responsible and ratchet. I think that's a
I'm
perfect
glad you
balance.
do.
So thank you for that and
You're
bringing it
welcome.
into my life. So we decided though that as a responsible and ratchet representative,
Yes,
that we would.
You can't call it representatives. You guys like the president.
Excuse
CEO,
me.
You know?
the CEO. What did I say? The protector of the ratchet.
Exactly.
The protector of the ratchet.
Yes, it's got to be like a Game of Thrones like type of position,
Yes.
you know. So we decided to break down our questions as we start with responsible and then end with ratchet questions.
I like it. We'll build it up.
Yes. So I'm gonna toss it over to the hubster.
No, you do that
Did that first
question.
one? Okay.
He points.
Exactly. So
Because she already answered the first question. So
what? The first one?
yeah.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah. See, you're not paying attention. You too busy. You too busy in your ratchet.
She got it built up. She
I got a little excited.
Let's get you back to responsible.
Yeah, put my responsible hat back on. All right. So, obviously, like a lot of the conversations that are on some of the episodes have to do with sex and, sex in general. So, but why is it important for your listeners? Why is it important to you that your listeners hear about sex from the perspective that you give it from? Because it is funny and tongue in cheek and stuff like that, but there's also an air of like responsibility to it, as opposed to just talking about fucking and sucking and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think like everybody we don't talk about sex enough, one, and it becomes so taboo. And I feel like everybody either wants to be having sex or they are having sex or they should be having sex. And I feel like if you make it lighthearted and not threatening, right, the people might feel more comfortable to, even in their circles. They don't have to, send me a voicemail or email like, hey girl. But like even with your friends, like I noticed with some of my friend groups, like how some people feel just uncomfortable when I will just blurt out and be like, oh my God, I remember this one time this guy and I were in the bathroom and they're like, you had sex in the bath, and I'm like, yeah, because I was in my 20s, right? But that shit was fun. It was a great memory.
I was living.
Right, And I'm sure that's not the worst place somebody's had sex in the world. I mean, it's people out there, like, to my friends, I might be the most ratchet person they know.
Yeah.
But then I look at somebody like, whoo, child, I'm a deacon compared to them,
Yeah.
And so I think it's all on a spectrum. You can find your comfort level. And so I guess that's just really how I try to frame my shows when I do have conversations about sex, is to like, okay, I always try to do a personal story so people connect. So it's not just like me just like, hey, you should do it. And I'm not willing to divulge anything. But then on the other side too, it's like, all right, now, gotta be safe. Are you using condoms? Or like, what is your practice?
A lot of people aren't using condoms.
A lot of people are not using condoms.
Yeah.
And I think it's shocking to know that people won't even have the conversation with the person that they're about to fuck if you're going to use condoms or not.
That's what I hear.
It blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
me and my friends were talking about it, and they were just saying that a lot of times the women don't even be like, do you have a condom? They just anticipate raw. And I'm like,
wow.
And I mean, this blows my mind.
When?
And so for me, like, in that situation, I've had the conversation. It's been like, oh, this is what we're going to do? Okay, well, then here are my requirements to do such, right? Not just, oh, hey, and we never discuss anything. So, yeah, I just feel like I just want people to get to that comfort level where you can just say that shit, because everybody's doing it. Everybody's done it. We'll do it. Like, you're not the first or the last, so get over it.
Exactly. The world keeps ticking. Like, how did we all get here besides somebody who
Mama was fucking.
Exactly. Somebody was fucking. That's how you here. And then, because I was even listening to one of your more recent episodes, and you were like, you just cleaned out your drawer, and you were like, you had expired condoms in there. And I was like, I said, I wonder if I've ever had expired condoms. And but like, you don't even like you think about it, but you don't think about it. But like that's the thing. Like I think that's so important for that conversation because it's like, hey, you know what? Let me just see if these are
they even good anymore,
exactly.
right? And I laugh because when I pulled, and it was funny when I was cleaning out all that stuff. I remember I looked at the condom and was like, that's so funny. Because I remember like when I bought it and I had the conversation with that partner at the time. Like we were in a relationship. We weren't going to use condoms anymore. And it was like, all right. And so I remember like putting them there and then like
back of the drawer.
And then so when I was cleaning, I was like, this, like I remember that whole conversation. Like, this is funny. But when I looked, it was like 2017. I'm like, oh my God, like somebody's going to die with this. So.
Oh my God. All right. So,
what do you feel is the biggest struggle for Black women as far as dating relationships are concerned? And what do you think the biggest advantage?
I feel like the biggest struggle is the number game right now. In most cities, single Black women outnumber. Making the assumption that you want a single Black man, outnumber available single Black men, and especially in this area, Baltimore, DC. I feel like the single guys in that area feel like, they know they hot shit and they are a commodity, and so they run around town acting like such. And in Baltimore, I feel like you get a hint of that, but it's a different flair on it. It's not the entitlement there, but it's a different flair. And so I do feel like that is the struggle when you go somewhere and it's 8 single women and 2 single men. The numbers just don't play out right at all. But the biggest advantage I have is like nobody's like a Black woman. Like, I mean, just the flavor that we have, you're just not gonna get it with nobody else. And
so many variations. So many, we're the most educated group.
Yeah, and
we're like, we just bring so much to the table.
And I hate to say it, but like when I always say I look at my circle, like I could pick any one of my single friends, and I'll just say on paper, they all got their shit together.
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
They great careers, make good money, like, and all the people say this stuff don't matter, but it do, but it don't, but it do.
It definitely matters, especially as you get older. Things transpire, it changes. So it's like
you're looking to build the shit matter,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, like I need to know.
How much debt do you really have?
Like, I need to know
for your debt.
I need to know that like you can take care of your own self
before
we get together and like I'm not trying to be nobody's parent. I'm not trying to take care of them. I want to know that like we can like, build like, but even before then like coexist like and handle our own and stuff like that. So I thought about that question because I like obviously haven't dated anyone else besides TJ, and then like even coming down here, never like always just kind of watching through my line sisters, through my friends, like the dating scene and seeing like. To me, I'm like, these women are amazing. They're intelligent. They're beautiful. They have so much to offer. They're funny.
That's on paper.
But I mean, but everybody has their drawbacks. Like everybody has their flaws. But at the same time, I'm like, how is it like such like slim pickings? Or and it's when they call it small to more, like
it is. It's 2 degrees of separation from everybody.
And I'm
right, like when I got here, you were like, I didn't know you were so-and-so's daughter. Right?
Exactly. I was like, I was scrolling through the episodes, and it was like, because I was looking at the conversation, and I was like, what? I said, oh, okay. So this is what I said. But that's always the case, especially in Baltimore, especially in smaller cities, even though it's an urban setting, and it's like everybody knows everybody, which means, if you talk to one person and then you end up talking to somebody else, that could be their homeboy or they're like their high school football buddy or something like that. And it's just very hard. And then sometimes people's like, I don't say reputations, but people talk,
They do.
And that I feel like can be really frustrating because ultimately like, and I mean, I'm biased, but like my circle, my friends, I'm like, these are amazing women. And I know that a good number of them at this point, like if they're still single, are looking to settle down, to find somebody, but not willing to settle.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. Like I said, I could pick one of them and be like, oh, she's such a great catch. She's good looking, this. And it's like, where's the disconnect? Like, where's the disconnect? It's like, how are they not matching with someone?
Do you think sometimes it could be like a picky thing?
I do think, and I'll even say, like, for myself, kind of moving away a bit from the checklist, a bit, but knowing what kind of partner I wanted, versus kind of like, oh, degree, those things. So I do feel like some women fall into that trap. And then I do feel like a lot of times it's the people holding their own baggage that they can't even make themselves available to someone else in the proper way. Which is why I say go take your ass to therapy. But
therapy for one, therapy for all.
Yes, because you could deal with it. Once you start unpacking that shit, then you're like, oh, that was my problem here, and that was my problem there.
I just think about, like, when I hear stories like, oh, this guy was great, but he didn't meet my height requirement, or
then that's just fucking foolish.
Yeah,
right?
But there's people out there who are.
That's something that you leave in, like, your 20s. Like, as you get older, like, you start to, like...
I'm just...
Because I said... And I've had these conversations recently with people, like, you know, would you date a guy who's 5'5", you know? And they're like, oh. And I'm like, but you 5'4". Like, he's taller than you.
Yeah, he's just not 6'1".
He's not the aesthetic that you want, but he's taller than you. He treats you nice. You go on nice dates. You have a good connection.
So that's why I inquired, because... that pickiness, you know?
And so it's like, is it pickiness, or is it like, are they letting a preference
take over,
block them, you know?
Actually, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see that guy at Chuck E. Cheese? That white guy? He was there with his I'm assuming his wife and child, but he, like, okay, so I know, like, so the proper term is dwarfism, but he was kind of like whatever variation of that, but that makes you on, like, the tall end of dwarfism. So, like, maybe he was like a solid, like, 4'11", 5 foot, like, maybe, but, like, definitely, like, you know how it is, like, limbs and things like that. Like, you knew something was, like, there was something there. But he was there with his son and wife and stuff like that, and she was, like, a smidge taller than him, and, like, saying that
they found happiness.
They did, and so that's what I'm saying. Like,
but that's what I'm saying, because most people, they would forego happiness based off of, as you said, preference. Like,
it's the same thing. Like,
I want you to make 6 figures. Even though you take care of me, you take care of all your bills, but you don't make 6 figures, so I can't be with you.
I did block somebody when I said that, because I was like, okay, on paper, somebody can make 6 figures, but they have $300,000 in debt, right? But you can make $50,000 and have $2,000 in credit card debt. You have more money than this person, right? Like, you probably live the same exact lifestyle as that person, because they're bogged down with debt. And so just because somebody makes money, it doesn't mean anything. It's like what they're doing with their money. And so, like, even to the point of, like, now, like, the guy I'm dating, I've made assumptions about his financial picture, even though we've had small talks about that. It's motivated me, because I'm like, oh shit, when that talk come, I ain't gonna be the slacker. Like, he ain't gonna be looking at me like, you got
how much debt? And that's the part too about, like, being grown, especially when, like, because, like, TJ and I, we being so young and together that, like, we came into our marriage with, like, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, not a lot of debt, not a lot of anything, because we were fucking kids basically, and then we kind of, like, gathered debt on our way, but then like got financial, you know, financially literate, and, like, started figuring things out together. But I can't imagine if I was, like, dating at 31, 32 years old and being like, I'm gonna take on, like, the priority should shift. Like, you're not 6'1", that's cool, but, like, how much credit card debt do you have? Like, I'm not taking it on, and it really, and it
shit that really matters, right?
Exactly. And it does, because even now, like, so a coworker of mine, his parents married, like, you know, decades, and his dad recently passed away, and the issue now is that because his parents were married, and his mom is older too, but she's like, a lot of any debt that his dad had is now transferred over to her. And, you know, they came from an era where, like, they didn't talk about money, or he was kind of like the head of house, I'm assuming, and things like that. So
they don't die with you?
Not everything.
Not when you're certain debt.
Yeah, not everything. Because like the thing, though, I mean,
because my student loans, when I die, they die.
Yeah, but I don't think it was student. These people.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, certain things can transfer.
I didn't even think about that.
Like even like the hospital bill, the credit card,
I think housing, mortgage, unless you turn the house back over.
Yep. So that stuff all transfers over, and so like that was the only real thing I didn't have to do with when my dad passed away is because my parents are divorced and my dad never remarried. So so on, it's in the eyes of the law, like there's no one, there's no there, like you're not gonna give it to his kids, but it's such a but that's why it's important because because it carries on like generations, because like now you're talking about that couple who got married and wherever they are and they're in their 70s or something like that. Now their children are trying to scramble to figure out something, whereas like, so like, now it's like, oh yeah, if I'm 31 years old,
I need to know
because I don't want our kids to be 31 years old trying to figure our shit out because of that. So like it's very like macro and like thinking like high level about it, but it matters. And plus you just want to know somebody's fucking responsible.
But that's something that we as people have to do better of just talking. We don't talk about this. We don't talk about when someone dies and what happens. And
a will, make it
a will, yeah.
So you think we don't talk about money just like we don't talk about sex? Yeah. Right?
So, I didn't know that part, like that certain debts can go over. Because that can destroy.
That's how people, but that's a lot of times that's what happens, and people lose everything.
Because
like one spouse is the breadwinner, but then, people keep secrets. And they're not upfront about where the money is going, and then it's not until something bad happens.
Then you're like, oh shit.
And you're like, wait, what? Like, so, but
very insightful question.
Yeah, this is a very responsible. We talk about wills and debt and stuff. This is the very responsible side of the line of questioning. We're gonna circle back around to dating and relationships, but get a little bit more specific with you. Now as a full grown adult and the responsible side of things, what does Boonie look for when dating or in a relationship?
How this has morphed over the years. I think now it's kind of weird because I am dating somebody, but when we started dating, I wasn't looking. I did one of the dumbest things I ever did. I took a year hiatus from sex.
Oh, how was that?
I wouldn't do it again for the reasons that I did it. Mm-hmm. I'll say that.
Now, when you say sex, just sex with somebody else, or does this include like all?
No, it was sex with somebody else.
Okay. Oh no, you couldn't go a year.
I would have been crazy.
Any orgasms.
But yeah, like that was. So I did that, and then I was like, all right, I did it. I made it a year. Bam, I'm gonna go here. And so I was kind of just like fooling around with different people, and this was fun. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna start dating intentionally, whatever that meant, right? Mm-hmm. And I said it, did nothing, did something I never do. Go out for New Year's Eve, met this guy. Mm-hmm. And that's who I've been dating. And
a little while.
Yeah, it's been
almost
a year and a half.
Oh,
last year.
Yeah. I stand correct. I was like, we're coming to the 6 month mark. And it was like, no,
a year and a half.
Okay, got you.
Before that, I kind of started like thinking like of these things, like what do you want? Because you said you're going to date intentionally, right? And so I think now it's more about somebody where I can feel safe and secure, mm-hmm. That I can have fun with, some level of spontaneity there, and somebody who's not afraid of this big old mouth of mine, and not in the sense of what people probably just think, but like who can let me do this shit, who can let me do this responsible and ratchet shit, the Boonie Breakdown podcast, and not be affected by it or what's kind of intimidated really by it. Because mm-hmm. I know sometimes I say some wild shit, and he's been at the live shows, and I remember the first one we were only dating like 6 months, and I didn't tell him about it, and he found out because a mutual friend liked the Facebook event, mm-hmm. and he's like, he saw somebody else doing, he was like, oh, what's this, and clicked on it. went to the and was like, I saw your fucking face.
Oh my God. It was like, so-and-so is interested in going to the event. And it was like, this fucking girl.
And I didn't even tell him I had a podcast.
Oh
like,
my
he
God.
didn't even know yet because we were still like feeling this.
Got it.
I didn't think we were exclusive yet. We were just still like dating then. And I was just like, I don't want him to like until I'm ready to tell. I don't want him to go on Instagram and just make these assumptions about me. And so he was like, yeah. So he we go out, and he's like, what you doing on the 23rd or whatever it was? And I was like, oh yeah, I already have plans. And he was like, oh really? He's like, man, I wanted to take you to this. And so he's saying that, and I'm sitting here like, take me what? And he turns the phone like this, and it's the flyer. And I'm like,
like, found out.
I got. And he's like, you weren't gonna tell me? And I was like, I wasn't. And so he comes, and I was just like, that was part of my nerves. Like, oh my God, I don't even know if he's listening to the podcast yet. You know, I can't censor myself.
No.
Because people come in here expecting
They get one thing, and that's what they gotta get.
So I went with it, and he passed that test of being like, no, I understand. Like, he goes, I understand some of it's probably truthful, the bulk of it, but I also understand that you're playing to something. And so that was a big one. So I was like, oh, you're not intimidated by what I got going on. All right, this is up. And so I feel like those are my 3 big things at the moment. Because I feel like if we can get those right, especially for me, a big thing, if you can make me feel secure, that's like really half the battle. And I think people will probably shocked if any of my listeners are listening to this. I feel like they might be shocked, like, she didn't say sex. And I think that's important, but I don't think it's as important as it was for me a few years ago.
Got you.
It's not my top 3.
So you just said sex. And that was the next question. How important is sex in a relationship?
I think it's important. I think it's important to have good chemistry.
Okay.
At least, like,
I think that's a big thing. Like, sex and chemistry are not always the same thing.
They're not. And like, and people always like chemistry, but I like feel like when my man walk in the room, I want to be like, like, I want that feeling. You don't even got to touch me, say not me, but I just want to know, oh, later it's going to be on. And I think if you can communicate well, then you probably have a good sex life. People are probably like, what? Because then I know, like, I can ask you certain things. You could tell me this. I can say, now we need to readjust here, but
Could be coached.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would even go so far as to say, even not even just communicating, about sex related things, but just good communication, period. Because if I think it goes back to that security thing and that safety thing. If I can talk to you and I can be vulnerable in front of you,
Yes,
and not feel judged or not feel, I don't know, like, just not and feel like I'm being supported. Like, that security, that makes, to me anyway, like, that makes a person more attractive, because it's like, and I mean, maybe it's very like caveman-esque, but it's just like, okay, protect and provide. Like, if I'm not worried about maybe my physical safety, but like my mental health, my well-being, my, like, I know that, like, you are safe. Like, you are my safe space, basically. Like, you're part of my safe space. If I don't have to worry about that, then I can, my brain can, like, unlock the other parts of it that want to be sexual, that want to develop that chemistry. And I think that's a big thing with, like, I kind of want to say women in general. I feel like a lot of women might agree with me in that sense, because we don't, like, physical attraction is obviously important, and it's a part of the piece of the puzzle, but feeling as if the person that you're intimate with gives a fuck about you, that they're interested in what you have to say, that they make an effort to support you, accommodate you, something like that. Like, I'm not saying roll out the red carpet, and that it's not, it doesn't have to be reciprocated, but creating that safe, that mental safe space is a lot, because we wear so many hats as women, especially as Black women. Like you said, we do it all. So, like, if I know when I come through that door and I can let my hair down and I can be vulnerable, weak, tired, whatever, and, like, you're okay with that, or you support it, that makes it that much more easier for us to like connect in those other ways.
No, I totally agree, and I feel like it's the balance, or for me, like a good sex life is the balance of that, feeling all of that, to be able to be loose in myself. But then also every now and then you need that throw down. So go ahead and yank my ass up and
exactly
right,
like get me together.
Yeah, and so yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
Balance, all about balance.
Our last responsible question.
Ooh.
Yes, last responsible question. This is a biggie.
Uh-oh.
A simple but a biggie.
You guys have asked off the wall questions, like
Really?
and not like off the wall like crazy, but just like I wasn't expecting that. It was good.
Good. Well, we're glad. Well, that's a positive. I wasn't expecting that. We're not trying to come out like throw you off your game. Do you believe in marriage, and or do you want marriage for yourself? Because we're the old married folks over here.
You know,
Anyway,
15 years. I know you guys been married 15 years. 15 years is a long time. Yes. I've come to the conclusion, yes.
okay. Yes, you believe in marriage, or yes, you want to be married?
Both.
Okay.
And for me, it's all like kids and marriage have always been depending on who I was with at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I used to be like, oof, God, if something happened, I got pregnant by this one, right? Like,
Like, what am I going to do?
And so that was always like I never really had a strong desire to be a mother, and I still don't. But I feel like if I'm with the person I would like to get married to, and they were like, I really want to have a child, I would have a child, right?
I know people like that.
And I know I've spent many years in therapy. I know why I'm that way with kids, but marriage was a hard one because I saw I never really had I only have really one strong example of a marriage, and that was my grandparents. And even that one was still their second marriage. And so I'm like, okay, they did it right the second time. And it was till death do us part when my grandmother passed. And I feel like it probably wasn't even until recently where I felt like marriage was in the cards for me. I just never saw it, like. But I do see the value, I guess, as I'm an adult now, and seeing some of my friends, my best friend Kenny, who's on the podcast, and him and his wife have been married 6 years, and seeing my other friends just celebrated 10 years. So I'm seeing these examples in my peers, which I didn't have growing up.
Yeah.
And so watching, I'm like, that's kind of dope. Like, some of this shit, I'd be like, all right, being single is fun too.
Yes.
Right? Everything. You can make pros and cons for everything. Being single is easy, I'll say. It's way easier. But when I look at them, I'm like, yeah, I kind of, like, that's the shit I would do want to do that. Like, I would be like, all right, babe, let's go away, or let's do this. And so when I look at my peers who are in what appeared to be, because nobody knows everybody's situation, but
Facts.
what appears to be healthy, sustaining relationships, and they've done the time and they've put in the work to make it work, I'm like, all right, I think I'm a big girl enough to do it now.
Like, sign me up. Like, you know, for the
fair.
at the right price, you know, like, you know, right person, you know. I agree with TJ. Like, that's fair.
It's a fair, responsible answer.
It's thoughtful.
But you know, a lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people don't think why they don't want to get married, or they want to get married because society says you have to be married, and marriage isn't for everybody. Like Dani and I always say, like, it's not a job, but it takes work.
Yeah.
And you gotta be willing to work with somebody, and you know, are they going to accept your flaws? Like, I was rude to Dani, and she accepted me regardless of
Very
what
rude.
it was. Say it again.
Very rude.
Anyway,
Listen, I gotta get it in where I can. Like,
I apologize. It's
It's void.
it's on the tapes. So I got receipts.
Yeah, so
I know. I'm just basking.
that's cool.
That's all.
See,
Yeah.
and that's my point. She don't always win, so when she do win,
Oh, then you go circle back to that.
No.
she got to bask in it because she don't win.
No,
that
it's
much.
not that I don't always win. It's that you rarely ever concede.
Oh, you don't concede.
Whenever I'm wrong, I always apologize. I always take accountability.
Yeah, but it's not always that sincere. Remember, you're
He's like, look, that's all I got.
I know. Your issue, babe, is tone. We're working on that though. But with that being said,
Yes.
we get to shift gears from responsible
To Ratchet.
Ratchet. So
Look, I'm like, the responsible questions had me thinking. I hope the Ratchet ones let me just shoot out the cannon.
I think so. I hope that they might be a little tame, but I
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so I'll start with the first one because it kind of ties back to your expired condoms. So, Boonie, what is in your nightstand right now?
Okay, what's in my nightstand right now? All right, so I have 2 nightstands.
Okay.
I'm sitting on my bed. So the one on my left that has my MacBook in it. It has.
Is that the responsible nightstand?
Yeah, this is my responsible nightstand. That's so funny. No, it really is. It has like recent bills. It has my MacBook is in there. It's the books that I'm reading, my journal, my crystals, credit cards, tape, pens, gift cards, that kind of stuff.
Checkbook, something like that, maybe in there.
Yeah, the right nightstand. So in the top drawer, it's candles.
Okay.
Lighter.
Let me set the mood right.
Incense.
Okay, smell good.
It's my alarm thing so I can look at my camera.
Okay.
I'm still in the top drawer. Lube.
Always important.
Always need lube. Something else right there. I can see it. When I was with a particular person, we used to keep a stash of weed in this thing and a pipe. That's in the top drawer. And then the bottom drawer, it is 2 Hitachis, magic wands. There is a dildo in there, a vibrator.
Oh, there's like an assortment. I'm for
it has, there are new condoms in there.
Good.
Somebody sent me and I haven't used it yet, but some, not scented, what is it? Flavored lubricant. I think that's it, the bottom one.
Hitachi's vibrator.
Yes.
Well, they're personal back massagers. But they found a second use for it, and the company was very smart. Because normally companies would be like, oh, God, we would never run with that.
Yeah.
And the company was like, oh, this is what women are using it for?
Like,
cool. And ran with it. And so
Hitachi or the other one?
Hitachi Magic Wand.
Yeah, that's the name.
Oh, they're both the same?
Yeah.
It's like Hitachi's the brand, and then Magic Wand is the type of
the product
massager.
Yeah.
Got you.
So,
but I will say the responsible side of me one time, I hosted this twerk class, and
which I heard was really fun.
It was so much fun, and
that's one Brittany went to.
Yeah, Brittany was there.
Yes,
and did a motherfucking split.
Of course you did.
I did a fucking split.
Oh wait, I thought you got.
Everybody did split, like, because we got so loose and warm, and the room was, and the floor had a little sweat, and so my leg, I did it. She taught us a modification, but I did the split. Fucked my hamstring all up because I was like, oh, I could do it, and did it multiple times. Once I did it the first time, I'm like, I ain't done a split since high school. Oh, I got that. Couldn't even walk the next day. So then I used the Hitachi actually on my hamstring. Fucking shit was amazing there too.
Listen, that's why they call it magic. We have multiple purposes that we serve.
So that was actually.
I might have to try and come to the next one.
Yeah, that was fun.
Would you like to take the next one, sir?
What advice would you give to a single person looking to spice things up? And what advice would you give to couples trying to spice things up?
Ooh, I think I'll start with couples. I feel like do something you haven't done before, but be open to it, right? Or maybe ask your partner something. Maybe you want to role play. You can make the suggestion. Because some people have different fetishes. And I even feel like even with your partners, if you still have that wall up and you don't want to show them how far you can go, especially if you might be opposites a little bit, right? So maybe let me plan a sexy night and you show up. But if you show up, you got to do what I say. Make a little code word if they get to whatever. And,
it's pretty dope.
Yeah, so that would be what I would do for couples. But it could be like whatever you think you want to do. Like, I just want us to get naked in this kids' pool of baby oil and wrestle. If that's what you want to do, just throw it out there and see if they'll go for it. That might actually be fun. But for singles, listen, if you're a single woman right now, I'm telling you, I feel like I'm not fucking with city girls because I don't really like them. Mm-hmm. But Meg Thee Stallion is my bitch right now, and I feel like she has deemed it hot girl summer. And so I feel like you have no excuse right now to not be out here thotting it up. I feel like every woman needs a good whole season or two.
They do.
Like a good one. And I feel like you have the ammunition right now, right? I was talking to somebody and they were like, you know, y'all just keep rebranding what it is to mean to be a hoe.
I think it's like ownership. I think it's like, because it's not even being a hoe. It's just
it's
like,
not.
It's being like unapologetically.
You might not even be fucking with anybody, right?
Exactly.
You might just be like, I'm a flirt real heavy, do whatever, but go out there. Henny and Waffles is coming up. Find some of these cool events. Just get out there, thought it up. But be open to who you meet. You never know. It's summertime. I feel like everybody's out in the summer. Mm-hmm. This is the time.
It's my favorite season.
This is the time to be out and about. No,
give me fall.
You like fall? Well, fall's cool.
I like summer. Everybody's just in a better mood.
It's too hot.
No, but the sun is out
It really
longer.
hasn't been hot this summer until today. It was hot today.
I go to my parents' house. There's no AC.
Oh,
so
yeah,
listen, them
the devil
days.
be dancing. And
Where your parents live?
they live in New York. We live in Harlem.
Oh, let me tell you.
And it's not that we don't have AC. My father
doesn't turn it on.
No, he doesn't want to put it in the window. So my father is like, he's like the father from Everybody Hates Chris. He was counting like, that's gonna be 25 cents. Yeah, I don't got time for that. So.
Yeah, it do be hot. It's hot.
Hot.
well,
But it's fun. So much stuff happening.
But like, and that's what I'm saying. I just think summer is my favorite because it's just like everybody's like Drake said, you know, they start wearing less and going out more, and you enjoy yourselves, and like there's more sunlight, and people are happier because
people wear less clothes. Like it's just
you have more. You feel like you have more day left. Like you feel like you have more hours in the day,
especially when you have work at like 4 or so. It's still light for like another 4 hours.
5 hours.
Yeah.
Like so
you
that's
gotta
why
be in the streets.
Summer is just, and then you know, so that's why it's my favorite season. Now, and my birthday is like a close second. So, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but you didn't give your actual location. Where is the most interesting place you have ever had sex?
All right. I don't even think I've shared this on my podcast.
Oh,
Got an exclusive. That horn is so
whatever. Leave my air horn alone.
Somebody's gonna be like, how? I might say 2, but I'm gonna go with number 1. No, this is it. In the bathroom at Camden Yards.
Really? I vaguely remember those bathrooms. They're kind of big, right?
They're kind of big.
Okay, because it's like,
and it's so much noise.
Yeah. Oh, it was like during a game?
Yeah.
Okay, I only been there for like a tour, so.
Yeah, but the bathrooms are big. It's so much commotion, especially if it's like a game people are interested in.
Right, perfect time.
Yeah, so that was so good.
How about you, Danny? Where's the most interesting?
Oh.
I mean, there's only like, my answer is going to be this. I think it's the same answer as you.
I hope it's the same answer.
Like, who'd you do that with?
In the back seat of the car on the side of the Jersey Turnpike.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Spice.
Yeah, it was an era ago. Car
sex. I got a few of those stories too.
We were on our way to New York. We were going or coming.
We're
going up, and
couldn't wait.
And so I think I was driving.
You were.
And I was like, you know what?
I love that it was both the same story.
Yeah, and I pulled over and I was like, let's
do this, girl.
You know? And then, we kept driving.
I love it.
Wait, though. Okay.
Oh.
Do you remember? Okay, but it wasn't full on sex, though. Do you remember?
I already know you're going to go.
What am I going to say?
Your school trip?
Oh, with the children!
No. I don't do my job. But we were in school. I'm talking about Atlantic, on the way to Atlantic City. We were on the bus on a Greyhound.
I don't remember.
We were on our way to Atlantic City and
on the bus
for
Like,
was that for my birthday?
I don't know. I think it was like, remember we used to take like family trips there
Could have been that. Okay.
with your family? I think we were on like the Greyhound. We left out of Port Authority.
Ooh.
And
It vaguely sounds remember.
yeah.
Well,
Be careful on the Greyhound, folks.
Yeah. So, I mean.
We'll talk about it after.
So.
But I remember the turnpike.
Yeah, the turnpike, yeah. So we just couldn't wait. So we pulled over.
And definitely some car stores.
I'll tell you this. I was at somebody's bachelorette party, and that was like, it was like my sister's friend. So they were like, I was early 20s and they were much older. And they asked that question. And this woman that was there at the bachelorette party was like in her, I guess at that time was like maybe like her late 40s, maybe early 50s. And they asked her the most interesting place she had sex. And this woman had sex with somebody inside of the fucking pyramids in Egypt.
That's fire.
That's ball as fuck. I love that.
I was like,
Yeah,
we were
fire.
like, you win. Like,
See, that's why I'm ready for vacations, because that would be my next type of thing.
But
like level up.
Yeah.
How could you do that though? I thought that stuff was like heavily guarded.
Where there's a real,
yeah. I mean, I guess you could make a way.
yeah. I mean, there's a
I
lot of
don't know.
tombs, and I don't know.
Story sounds fishy to me.
No,
It sounds very like, you know.
She was so like, I believed it.
That's cool.
But I mean, maybe it wasn't like one of the major pyramids. You know, there's a lot of pyramids in Egypt. It's like the big three, but there's like little pyramids. Or
But that's still a fantastic story.
No,
Yeah.
no. Listen, it's a great story.
Yeah.
That's just got me thinking like,
We all got to step it up now.
damn.
So, what? I'm actually gonna jump around. I'm gonna mingle these up a little bit. So for you, Boonie, what is the easiest, or should I say fastest way to get you in the mood? And then what is the fastest way to kill the mood for you? Like what would a guy do?
To kill the mood is to tell me no.
Oh,
So that would kill the mood pretty. Yeah. And the fastest way to get me in the mood? I feel like it doesn't take much.
it's like a strong wind, and Boonie's like, ready, let's go.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't take much. And I feel like if I just picked a random person on the phone and called them, they probably would agree. But yeah, nothing really in particular. Like, you could just walk into it like, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm in the mood.
I envy you because I need a lot more than that. And for me, to get me in the mood, it takes longer than it makes to kill the mood. But for me, it's like, I need to be like, I'm really like, I guess maybe go back to like love languages and stuff like that. Like, I need like, oh baby, you like, you
so
did this for me.
your words of affirmation.
That too, like, you know, like you did something for me to help, like to lighten my load.
Acts of
and
service.
then
You gotta wash the laundry.
Yeah, and then like
Gotta do something.
you gotta talk to me nice. Like you gotta like those two things.
And see, I'm different. Like, physical touch is my love language.
Yeah.
And it was funny because when I took that test, it was very glaring. I had 2 that were 11s, and like the highest you can get is 12. Physical touch, quality time.
Yeah, that's me.
And then the other 3 like didn't even register. Like, gifts was like a 3, and the other 2 were like 0 and 1. Like,
I don't remember how high it was, but
only because I recently took it, and then I took it to my therapist. Like, what does this mean? Like, this is, she's like, I have never, and she made me take it again, and it was just as glaring. She was like, well, it's very clear.
This is what you like.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely at all the way acts of service and words of affirmation. Like,
Because, and the thing I think too, because I like to be touched. Like, not even saying like, if we're watching TV, I'm gonna drape my leg. Like, to me, that qualifies as touch.
yeah,
I don't need you like, it doesn't have to be a full out make out, but like,
yeah.
I'm gonna drape, or I'm gonna lay, or you lay on me. Like, that's enough. So to turn the mood, you could just roll and be like, and I'm like, all right.
Hey, I think quality touch was like one of my low ones. I'm always like, all right, like, you could, but not like, and not to say I don't. I do, but it's just like it has to be. I think the other things have to happen first, and then I'm like way more receptive to like the touch. But then,
And I'll say maybe too, like, not nothing. The other ends would be like be very aggressive because I'm very firm and aggressive. So for you to be more aggressive, I'll back down and be like, okay, like, yeah.
Like, all right.
Yeah, so I do like aggression.
How about you, babe?
What?
What gets you in the mood and what kills the mood for you? I think I know the answer for the kills the mood. Or one of the answers.
That's a tough one. I didn't know you was going to interview me too.
I thought it was particularly a good question. So I was like,
it is a good one.
Yeah, I don't think it takes much to get me in the mood. If I'm already like if I'm happy or whatever, then it is. I think what kills the mood for me is like having to wait. Like if I have to wait like a week or 2 weeks or it's not consistent, then it's just like I don't want to be teased. Like I don't want to play this game of
like do what you say. Okay.
So
I was gonna also say that sometimes you don't like when you think I'm too goofy. Like
that can kill a mood for me.
Because sometimes sometimes I'd like to be like silly, like and like kind of like to me it's almost probably like foreplay. Like it's just like talking, making jokes and like being silly and goofy and laughing.
But there's a time and place for the goofy.
He's like, not now.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like,
there's been times that we were in sync, we're clicking, so the joking and laughing it didn't matter. But if it's like I said, if it's a long wait, I don't want to joke. Like,
you're like, get this shit over.
So sometimes, we and listen, 15 years in and we still have to like learn each other and work on it.
That's a good lesson to know.
And figure it out. And sometimes we fall short and sometimes we knock it out the park. But I'm trying to think, because we did talk a little bit about hot girl summer already, because I was like, that's what it means to you, but we kind of touched on that. And I'm married and all that other jazz, but I'm gonna have my own. TJ said he having a hot girl summer too.
I'm out here.
Get your neon shirt.
And then I am very curious. I'm like, I wonder if like this summer it's all about like the neon green and like people doing like highlighter colors. I'm like, you think like people gonna do like highlighter orange next summer? Or
you don't have to bring it out.
Just do it.
You don't have to bring it out before everyone else got it.
Yeah,
I'm about to be ahead of the curve.
Do it, because it's like the green and pink right now popping. Mostly.
Do highlighter orange. Orange is definitely in my wheelhouse for my colors.
Yes, orange is like one of my favorite colors.
So I might have to do that.
So let's tie it into. We can bring it into the live shows.
What can people expect?
So Boonie has 3 live shows coming up. June 29th,
Baltimore.
In Baltimore. August 10th,
Philly.
Come on, Philly.
In September 2019, to be determined.
Yeah. Atlanta, though.
So it's probably going to be Atlanta. I'm going to say this, though. Atlanta, it's cheap to live there, but it's very cheap it's very expensive for rental space. And I'm just like, okay, even Philadelphia wasn't even bugging with the cost that they want. So I'm kind of like, and then they want you to pay all up front. Not like I put this deposit. Let me get some ticket sales, and then I can pay you, right?
That's like ATL be reneging. Like
yeah, so I'm sure that's why they do it. So ATL, I'm working on y'all. We'll see. Baltimore is coming up next week.
Exciting.
Very excited. I'm excited for Philadelphia because I went to Temple, so that's just my backyard. And what to expect from a Boonie Live? I kind of make each show different, so this will be my 3rd live show, and you can't be uptight, right? I feel like some people come in and you usually go to a regular live podcast, like some of the big ones, and you're just going to listen to these people talk. I feel like I'm not there. I'm not a Crizzle, Kid Fury, Joe Budden, right? Like, I'm not that important that you're just going to listen to me ramble for 2 hours on a stage. So I kind of follow the format of my show. It is responsible. It is ratchet. And so it is some audience participation. I feel like the last show, we did a lot of audience participation. And I hope that didn't make people away. Because people were like, oh, don't call on me. Especially, like, if I know your name, I might be like, Dani, come here real quick, right?
Like, wait, like, that's not what I signed up there.
So like some people, I'm like because I didn't know their name. But most people were open to it, and then like once they loosened up, got some little drinks in them, we had some fun.
Alcohol always helps.
And then I will be giving away numerous magic wands at each show.
Nice.
Shout out to the kind folks at Hitachi. Yeah, I really do stand behind the magic wand, so I give out. I think I did like one last time, and then I just hit them up, and they're like, "Here's the time." I'm like, "Yes." So we'll have fun. You do some things to get a magic wand. So
y'all work.
But yeah, so grab your tickets. You want to come have fun.
And we will put the link inside of the notes, so
you can go grab your tickets if you are in Baltimore or Philly.
Yeah, come on out! I can't wait to meet you guys soon, Atlanta.
With podcasting, what has been your high, and what has been your low?
Low. I like to get the bad stuff out the way. So I think the low part of it is like you sometimes fall in that trap of like watching other people what they're doing, and it's like, and it looks like they're doing it so easy, and then they're on HBO, and then they're on Essence Top This, and you're like, I'm busting my ass, and people tell me it's good, and I think it's good. I sold a few T-shirts, right? And so it's like getting caught in that trap of just playing the comparison game sometimes, and it's not to take anything away from those podcasts, but like some of the times you got to realize they might have started a show on a huge network, so it's a built-in audience. Then they're in the circle, and so that friend on this podcast, listen to this one, it's coming out, and so it's just a different network. And I had to tell myself, stop. Like, you can't just measure yourself based off of what you see other people getting, because I don't know how hard they worked. Like, I don't know what they're doing. So that's the low. I think the high, really, to me, is like, it really is amazing connecting with people, and then in turn, like, going someplace and having someone being like, hold my stay. Like, I'm like, that's just some shit I made up on one podcast, and it like just stuck. Or I'm out somewhere, or I'm looking at somebody's Insta story, and I see Dani wearing a Responsible and Ratchet shirt, right? And so I'm like, how'd you got my shirt? And then she was like, how'd you see that so quick? But that shit is cool to me. Like, how people connect enough that they're willing to rock my shit or spend their hard-earned money to come out on a Saturday night and just kick it with me for a couple hours. So that's the part that's fun.
Yeah.
But and then that brings it back. Like, all right, this is why I do it. One day I can fill a Warner Theater, but right now we gonna take my 100 people. And I'm thankful for the people who are here, because I feel like sometimes too we get caught in that number chase.
Yes.
And it's tough because it's natural, it's human nature, but to get caught in that number chase. But I'm like, it'll come. Gotta rock with the people who are here now.
Exactly, because at some point they're gonna be like, I was down before there was anybody else. Like, she remembered me back in back when it was just us. Like,
yes.
But yeah, I agree with you on that. Like, it's, the grind is a lot, and you're like, the progress and stuff, and like, I mean, it's definitely
hard work,
and it's like a very saturated market.
It is.
But I also know that, like, in our time in this world, we've encountered a lot of people who are like, yo, y'all are making really good bomb content,
and that's
and that, and like, especially for TJ and I, we always talk about it, like, sometimes this is like very therapeutic for us, because
I was always therapeutic for me.
Yeah, I know. like last week's episode was very much like, we kind of maybe like we're more annoyed with each other after we ended, but more times than not we end up being like on better terms with each other after we've talked about whatever, because
we get to learn. We get to learn about each other, and we get to be vulnerable, and we get to have other people kind of give us the advice based off of what they heard, And
I even feel like when I went to you guys' live show, like, the other part that's cool to see, and I see it in my shows, but then I saw it at your shows, is when you see how your village steps up for you and how people pull off your vision. It's like, damn, outside of people who listen and get to know me and decide to follow, the people who I know, like, I can call up an emergency, to see them support it and just throw their all, like, what you mean move this box? You need me to do? Like, yes, move that box. I don't got time.
Yes. So that was definitely us. I was like getting my makeup done, and I was like, because I was like turning my head, like, can somebody go? And then it was like, people were just like, you're there, like, from like people came from New York and people, like.
Shout out to
So I
my
remember
guy,
seeing. It's like I remember seeing you guys' family, and so it's like when you see that, then it's like, oh, okay, I'm not crazy. Like somebody, and then to see the other people, like, okay, well then I'm really not crazy because these people don't know me, right? They're not obligated, air quotes, to support me. Yeah,
exactly. Well,
it's been.
Girl, thank you.
No, thank you. I want to really thank you guys for having me on. And this is the part too that it's like it's helpful when you have podcasts that are on the same level who aren't afraid. Like some people think, oh, that's my competition, so I'm not gonna. And so it's like neither. Yeah. And so it's like the collaboration of like, oh, I can introduce you to my audience. Of course, when you send me this stuff, I'm gonna pump it out to my people. Like, listen. And so that's the part that's cool too. So
no, definitely, I agree with that. I think it's better to work with people, and whoever wins. Like sometimes you're just not meant to win, and it's not a negative. It doesn't mean that you're trash. I feel like the fact that we're 70+ episodes in, like that's a testament. Yeah. That's a win. Like, if we ended today, I know that we did all that we could do.
And I'm like, no shade, but Angela, what's her name? Angela Rod did like 4 episodes and be on top 10 lists. And I'm like, she ain't put out an episode in a year. Like, how is that happening?
Oh, yeah, because I definitely was following her.
I was following too. And then one day I realized, like, I ain't heard no. And so podcasts fade away.
Nope,
and so to your point, to get to 70 episodes is.
And again, as Danny said, because it's so therapeutic, it's easier. Like, we're doing it because it's fun for us. We're not doing it because we're trying to be the number one or we're trying to overthrow anybody. Like, if we can get to the next stage, of course. I mean, who wouldn't? But at this time, I'm happy to be able, like, this is kind of adds to like our dating. Like,
that's so sweet.
I agree.
Shut up, man. See, look, when I just say I agree, then it's not enough. And then when I say too much,
it wasn't passionate enough for me. It's all about tone.
I agree, baby.
That was phony now. Now you're being facetious, and I don't like it.
Facetious.
But but I do want to thank both of you for having me on your podcast. It was really fun. You guys really made me think.
Well, we hope we gave you enough balance of Responsible and Ratchet.
Yes.
And we are so glad to have had you on. And Boonie, just even though we'll put it all in the show notes, but just let everybody know
where they can
follow and find you.
So you can find the Boonie Breakdown podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and if you did not know, you can just type in any podcast name into Google.com now, and it will give you all the episodes. So no more excuses. I don't have that app player. Nope. You can Google it. Try that right now. And you should find it. You can find me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at The Boonie Breakdown. That's BOONIE. And then on Twitter, just Boonie Breakdown. But I'm most active on Instagram, so follow me there.
Boonie Wednesdays.
Yes. So on Wednesdays, we do Would You Rather Wednesday. And
I'll be looking so forward to that.
Yes, it's so much fun.
Sometimes I'll be like, I'm on Thursday and I see it pop up and I'm like, damn,
I'm getting yelled at because I haven't been doing the recaps on Thursdays. And it's because I usually try to start Would You Rather Wednesday at 10, between 10 and 12 on Wednesdays. But I had a work meeting come up, like it's reoccurring on Thursdays, right? So the real life, and I'd be like, when that time I go, it's already archived, and I'm like, fuck it. But I'm going to get back to the recaps on Thursdays.
And you can also go to thebooniebreakdown.com and you'll find everything there. And she has some dope merch. So
yes, she does. Get you a Responsible and Ratchet t-shirt.
Check that out there.
Buy your tickets for the live shows.
It's a code right now for the merch. I forgot. I haven't even promoted it to my people. But it's June 15 for 15% off of your order.
So there you go. Get 15% off.
There you go.
We'll put the code inside the notes as well.
Yes. Well, again, ma'am, thank you so much.
Yes, it means so much to have
thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys because I'm gonna see TJ and Dani at the show. So come join them.
Yes, we'll be in the audience, and now she'll be like, Dani. And I'll be like, wait, girl, hold on. Like, at least tell me the segment you want me for.
She's gonna go up there.
Yeah, no, I'm not shy. I'm good. Listen, all I do is get in front of people I don't know. Well, at least I don't know at the beginning of the year. And
that's what you do.
Nobody's more critical than like middle schoolers.
That's a fact.
As always, you can follow us on IG at Lovers Quarrel Show. On Twitter, Lovers Quarrel 7.
That too.
You have any questions, concerns, if you want to ask us a question,
feedback,
give us
anything.
feedback, you can send us an email at loversquarrelshow@gmail.com.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on we're on all platforms of podcasting, and make sure you like, share, tag, follow, all that jazz on all the different social media platforms. But as always, this has been another episode of Lovers Quarrel, and I am your girl Dani,
And I'm your guy TJ.
and as always, we fuss,
We fight,
but we love. Bye.
Bye.
All right,
Bye.
stop taking my clothes in
My
there.
fault, you got it. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.